Welcome to Sueldos and Suarez, a podcast dedicated to career conversations.
To celebrate the season of love, we are deviating from our usual corporate and career-oriented talking points. Instead, we are going to delve deeper into what I would argue is everyone's favorite topic, love.
That's right. From self-love and overcoming heartbreaks to defining the different types of relationship and even shining a light on the social and cultural barriers that have been hounding the LGBTQ community, we are going to break love down and try to make sense of it all.
Join us as we dabble into the world of romance, relationships, friendships, family, culture, and everything that has to do with love in this two-part Valentine's Day special. I am Sam, a marketing content writer.
And I am Pao, a senior copywriter for Med Specialized,
where we specialize in success. For this episode, we are going to talk about a rather special topic, one that is highly debated, LGBTQ relationships. Our discussion will not only revolve around romantic connections, but we will also touch on family, friendship, society, and a lot more.
That's right. And in a June 6, 2022 article by Chadi Guzman, published on Time Magazine's digital platform Time.com, he described the Philippines as, and I quote, one of the most LGBT-friendly countries in Asia, end of quote. He further elaborated that the Philippines is, quote-unquote, an embodiment of both conflict and harmony between doctrinaire teachings on identity and modernity.
In a predominantly Catholic nation where religious influences and conservative values dictate social norms, how do members of the LGBTQ community find love, feel loved, and express their love?
That's right, and helping us answer these questions are two special med species. Our first guest, Lexi, is a business development manager under Dr. Catalyst, and she has been with the company for over 4 years.
And our second guest, Jay, is a training specialist who has been with the company for just a month shy of 4 years. In this episode, they will be sharing their life and stories with us, along with their personal opinions and insights about gender identity and expression.
That's right. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, actually, before we even dive into the topic, we would actually let our guests introduce themselves first, expound on how they started with Med Specialized. But before we actually get into that, can we just take a moment to appreciate this new setup?
Yes.
Because I'm actually loving it. This is such a vibe. Major props to the newly formed branding team of Med Specialized, of course, headed by the team lead, Eman, Boss Idol Eman. Of course, Kate, Rexo, Jemuel, Hill, and everyone else who have been
put work in together to put all of this together. Because look at all of this. I mean, the plants, the hearts. Can you just tell what we're gonna talk about today?
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, look at the bowl.
The vibe.
The everything.
Everything is a vibe right now. But yes, actually, so can we let our guests introduce themselves now?
Yes.
So who would want to go first? Jay, do you want to take it away?
Fine, I guess I have to do it now.
Yeah.
What do you want me to say?
Just how you started with Med Specialized, like how your journey started with Med Specialized.
Yes.
How did my journey start with MedSpec? Graduated, and then I was looking for a job. I had two, offers, different companies, and one was more geared to what I graduated with, which was psychology. And then there was MedSpec, the other one. The former just didn't really pay enough, honestly. So I ended up going to MedSpec, which had aircon, better pay, and free ice cream. And key. So far I'm pretty happy here. I'm very content here. So
you loving the ice cream?
MedSpec. Yes, I'm loving the ice cream. I haven't had ice cream in a few months already here. Yeah. I'm loving the aircon here and the pay and the environment, that's for sure.
Yeah, the aircon here is really cold. Like you're gonna have to bring like jackets and sweatshirts and stuff.
Especially there
in the prod floor. Yeah. Also, how about you, Lexi? I'm sorry. You wanted to add something?
It's just more accessible here, by the way. Sorry, I just want to mention that. Yeah. It's nearer here compared to other places.
Correct. Yeah. How about you, Lexi?
Well, I started 2018 here in Med Specialized, and this isn't my first call center job. So I've been in the industry for 15 years, and this isn't my first, sales company as well. But then it turned out that I also love it here because this is the longest job that I've had among the other BPOs.
Yeah.
So you can tell, almost 5 years. So I think, and I started here because my other, my friends from the previous company that I worked for, they were here. So they started 2 months ahead of me, and then they referred me here, and then
Did you start off as a manager right away?
No,
Or you
I
worked
started
your way
as
up?
I worked my way up.
Yeah. Okay. So how did that? Because I'm curious, from coming from someone who have quite limited BPO background, like how does that the process of choosing a pseudonym, how does that work? Like, do you get to choose, or is that something that is assigned to you?
Yeah.
Well, in the other BPOs, they
Yeah.
assign a name, but here, I don't know where I got the Lexi,
So
Lexi
you just went with
name.
it.
And then I just went with it because I have a nickname, which is Chrissy. But then
Got it.
our previous manager said, no, it's not an American name. Okay, fine. So I had to check Google and found Lexi.
Okay, got it. So, now I think both of you know already what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be diving again deeper into the whole LGBTQ community here in the Philippines, specifically, when it comes to family, romance, like finding love. First of all, how did you guys break the news to your family? What was that experience like? Whoever wants to go first.
Or if you ever did, because not everyone.
Has a coming out
Yeah.
story. Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
okay. By the way, you're gonna have to excuse me because coming from a a straight male perspective, I don't know a lot about this space. So I'm gonna be throwing a lot of questions at you because I'm actually really curious as well, and I also want to understand LGBTQ community a lot more or a lot better. So
Okay.
yeah, how was that experience like for you, Jay?
Well, firstly, you should try coming out. It's super fun. You'll learn a thing or two from it. It's always more fun on our side. So
I concur.
okay, what was the question again?
What was the experience like? Did you ever come out to family or your chosen family or friends? And how was that like for you guys?
It was a very long journey, incredibly long. Probably the coming out journey started at 2016, I think. And it wrapped itself up neatly in a bow just this year, I would say, which is 2023. 17, 18. See, 6 years worth of coming out. Started out with my closest friends in school, in university, and well, of course, it was a very open arms kind of thing. Of course. But then, especially when I first went to work, that's really when I joined this company just straight off the bat without needing to hide anything. So I really just went, I didn't have to introduce myself like, hi, I'm Jay and I'm gay, by the way. That's so unnecessary.
right.
It just kind of like, hey, I'm Jay and I'm cooler than you. And then eventually
Oh, you
people just
are.
get to realize like, okay, that Jay's cool. He's into guys. Like, yes, I am. And then parents, I came out to my parents already. I have come out to my parents. That was a very traumatizing time. It was in the middle of lockdown.
Ooh, so you're
So,
stuck with them.
Literally no escape. Yes.
Yeah.
2 days before my birthday, I think my 26th birthday, or not, I'm 26 right now. 2021, I think it's 2021. Came out to my parents, very chilly reception, I guess. They said something like, I'll just not say what they said, but essentially it was like, at least you don't do drugs. Like, yes, at least I don't do drugs, right? So,
But did you feel like before you came out, they already had a hunch or?
somewhat. But when I asked them about it, they said they tried to deny it among themselves, or they didn't want to believe it. So all denial until I had to be the one to confirm it.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, snap, looks like we were right. And it took a while, but my parents are starting to get used to it. Like leaving the tolerating phase and more in towards somewhere towards acceptance, but not exactly fully there, but getting there. Sometimes they bring up people's names, my partner's name, without needing to be awkward about it. Or a little bit awkward, but for the most part, that's fine.
Got it.
And now my relatives know too, so yay.
Just to give a little bit of context, like is your family's background, like, are you conservative? Are you religious?
Yeah, they are, or we are conservative Catholics.
Got it.
So you can expect the judgment they can get from their friends, that generation, people who are in their 60s, like, oh no, that's not good stuff. Jesus isn't going to be happy about that. But yeah, whatever to that.
I'm just really glad, that you mentioned like in college you had your group of friends who were very supportive, and some of them weren't even surprised. Like, I feel like that's something that our generation is really lucky to have.
Yeah.
Like a lot of more open-minded people in our peers. And like right now, I'm really glad that, with your parents, things are gradually getting better.
Yes,
yeah.
Thankfully. I think it's in the mindset, if we can't change him, then we have really no choice but to accept him.
How about you, Lexi? I'm curious to know your story.
Well, I don't know. I didn't come out anywhere. I was just being myself, honestly. Like, I grew up with like male, more male dominant environment. So I had my uncle, my titos and all of that. So, and my cousins that I grew up with, they're all boys.
Yeah.
So even back in the days, they already, I'm not really like a girly one. So I never really came out. And then, I don't know, they just accepted me for who I am.
So the people around you kind of just rolled with it, like, right? Like,
I feel like I'm very lucky because I didn't really have that challenge, to come out, because, and maybe because I'm also known as, when I want to do it, I do it.
Yeah.
So even my parents can say, whether they like it or not, but it's what I want. So, yeah. So no challenge at all in that part.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's I'm just blown away by that, because it's not every day that you hear a story like that.
Right. I mean, because it's kind of like a contrast from Jay's experience, right? Where he felt the need to like break the news, like to break the like come out.
Yeah.
But with you, it's a complete opposite. People kind of just, the people around you, your family, kind of just rolled with whoever you portrayed yourself to be, right?
And I know, with Jay's story, it's hard because I have like close friends who hasn't even come out, who even have partners that are...
So they're dating in secret.
Yeah.
God.
And they would confide in me because they know that they could trust me in that one, and I don't judge them. So I think that that's really like a challenge for,
Okay. So I guess that brings us full circle to what you said earlier about our generation being like a more accepting generation, because even if like members of the LGBTQ community can be themselves around their peers, it can be a completely different story when they're at home.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
Even in college, like, I went to a very liberal college, so it's very open there with whether how you express yourself or how you identify. There's no judgment. So it just made it easier for a lot of people in the LGBT community to be themselves. But yeah, that is true, especially at home with some people whose families have a hard time being open-minded.
Right.
In the same way, yeah. So I was also curious, since growing up, there's a contrast, right, with growing up. But how about work-wise? Did the way you identify have an impact on your career? Whoever.
Your turn.
Okay, yeah. Lexi, would you like to go first?
Well, for me, yes, there is an advantage and there is a disadvantage. I think the disadvantage is, or maybe because people couldn't really identify me as one gender because I'm bisexual. So I can go with,
Okay.
Both, right? So
Right.
it's quite difficult for them to really know if, this is my preference, this is my preference. But work-wise, there is an advantage because you can deal, I'm just talking about being part of the LGBTQ, right? So you know how to talk to them, you know how to deal, especially if you have bosses that are part of LGBTQ as well.
Right.
Because some, I hear a lot of comment or like feedback that they would say, oh, my boss, especially if your boss is like a queer, they would say, oh, she's picking on me or something like that. But for us, we know it, right? Like that's just, I'm just talking.
Can you just quickly define what queer means or what that whole word entails?
Well,
Just for those of us
this
who
is
kind of need
my
to-
understanding.
Yeah,
Okay, so they are, what do you call it? Like in layman terms, is Maya?
Jay, you're laughing. Is that an
You
accurate
explain
description?
it, G.
I guess queer is. Yeah.
They don't dress
Yeah.
like like a lady.
Like a certain
They
way.
act. They act. How do
Is it like effeminate men? No.
They still dress up like men though, but then they just are.
So I guess it boils down to like their sexual preferences.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, I guess because I'm kind of confused in this aspect between sexual preference and gender identity. Like to you, what is there like any similarities or where does these two terms deviate? Like if you can just expound more on that, just to help people understand it better.
So gender identity is who you are, and sexual preference is who you're into.
Okay.
That's why I usually say things like straight man.
Yeah.
Okay, that's your sexual preference, is the straight part. The man part is your gender identity.
Okay.
Or gay man. So
Good.
gay is the preference, man is the identity.
So we'll set an example, like Bruce Jenner. He's now a trans woman, right? But
Yeah.
his sexual preference is still a woman.
Okay. All right. Got it.
So somehow like
All
that.
right. I understand now. By the way, I'm sorry for asking these questions. I just really want to
Worry about
understand the terms, and I want to be accurate with the terms as well. How about you, Sam? Do you have any questions to the guests?
Well, we could go to Jay's answer to the previous question on whether your identity had an impact on your career or your career here in MedSpec or in your previous job. Oh, wait, so this is your first job.
This is your first job?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Do I look old?
No, it just you're so natural. Like when you were handling my training before, it sounded you seemed like such a veteran.
Wow.
So, I guess.
Well, 1 year is veteran enough for me.
Okay.
And somehow I'm here for 4 years. Okay, so the question was, did it impact me or impact my job? Well, it didn't actually. And I think that's kind of what I want. I don't really want my, my gender identity or my sexual preference to impact my job in any way. And to be honest, that's one of the things I really have a gripe about when it comes to being part of the LGBTQ community. The fact that we have to come out, the fact that
Yeah.
there has to be some sort of like particular attention given to that.
Yeah.
Ideally, I guess I would advocate for the thought that in the future, sexual preference wouldn't be as important in the sense that we have to label who we're into. Gender identity, very important. You have to it's good for labeling that one because who you are is important, but who you're into shouldn't be as important. Like, ooh, I'm gay. Ooh, I'm bi. Well, of course, we do that now, and that's very important now. But in the future, I think it would be cool if it was really just like, I'm into you or I'm not into you,
Right.
I do agree with that sentiment, how you feel like it's not something that should be made into a big deal, like something you have to do, like coming out. Because that's why I was so amazed with Lexi's story, because I would just love to live in a world where you don't have to come out, where it's not something that's expected of you just because being straight is a norm, you know?
Yeah.
Because like it's kind of just like just you, and it coming out makes it feel like you have to explain yourself about being yourself.
Right.
That's something to be envious of, Lexi's
Yeah.
growing up. Good
Yeah,
job.
it's amazing.
How about you, Pao? Try it out. Just try coming out as straight right now.
How do you even do that?
You just be like,
surprise.
okay, practice. Yeah,
Be
say
like,
that.
guys, I have something important to tell.
Tell you.
Yeah,
And then-
I can't even imagine like what that's like for you guys. 'Cause-
Unnecessary stress.
Yes.
Honestly, even if you know like your friends are gonna say we accept you, it's still like, why do I have
But
to say
did
this?
it make any easier in your part knowing that your friends at least accepted or
Oh
knew
yeah,
about?
totally, man. Super.
Yeah. Okay.
It's nice knowing you can be like yourself around
Yeah.
those people.
Yeah.
But there's still that, when you haven't come out yet. I mean, like for me, when I didn't come out yet, like that anxiety of what if my friends, don't dig it. And yeah,
Well, I think that's the time you'll really figure out who your true friends are.
that is true. Bridges were burned.
Really? Like, what was that like? I mean, only if you're.
Oh yeah, sure. It's no problem. For me, it was very strange because I didn't realize it until later in college, like mid college. So when I came out to my friends who were also part of the community, they kind of, I don't know, what's the term? Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss.
Wow,
How
that's-
did they?
Yeah. Yeah, and that was kind of sad, but it's not all of them. Just like one or two bad apples, which was surprising for me because, you'd think that they would help me navigate this whole thing. But fortunately, a lot of my friends were very accepting, and it was just like a huge weight off my shoulder.
God. Okay.
Cool.
Well, I want to know though, because I think now that we're past the sort of coming out stage,
Yeah.
I'm curious now to know about your dating story, your love stories.
Yes.
It's
Since it
a
is the
love
month
story.
of
It's the
love.
month of love. It's
Month of
February.
love.
So, yeah, do you guys want to talk about it? Like, how did you, first off, like, when did you first had a boyfriend or girlfriend, or yeah, when did you first enter the quote unquote
a
dating?
significant other.
dating scene.
Yes.
Dude,
Who wants to go first?
someone needs to volunteer right now.
Trying to think about it. Okay.
You guys want to flip a coin
I'm
for
still
it?
like wondering which is a good story to tell. Too many.
Don't filter it.
All right, I'll go ahead. So I
Okay.
start really young.
Okay.
I have 2 teenagers now. So knowing the fact that I have 2 teenagers, so I started with, opposite sex relationship, right? And I've had a lot.
Oh,
So I tell you, I've had a lot. And well, because I'm already 38 years old, so, and I've been there. I've tried a lot of things too. And I have a partner right now. So, turning 5 years this year. This is our 5th year this year. So she's my second same-sex
Relationship.
yeah. The first one that I had only lasted for just a couple of months. And I felt that, maybe not this route. But then way back when I was in elementary, the school that I went to was all girls school. The crazy thing back then is I had crushes
Among girls.
among girls.
Yeah.
So I already knew it, that I already had that inside of me. So there you go.
Okay, first of all, you're 38.
Yes.
You look my age.
Yeah, you don't look like it.
Oh my God. Amazing. Glowing skin. Skin reveal. Skincare reveal. Sorry, skincare reveal.
Yes, reveal the skin.
How about you, Jay?
What dating story?
your first dating
relationship,
story.
I guess.
Okay. It took me a while to even realize I was into boys. It was around somewhere in college already. Or maybe I had the inkling somewhere in high school. I went to an all-boys school also, but I didn't like any of my high school. They were all annoying people.
Yeah.
I mean, mostly. Some were nice, but not really anyone. So whatever, and then, just kind of like, what's the word? Suppressed it. I suppressed it for most of my uni life, and then somewhere towards the second half, it got resurfaced. Like, oh, maybe I do like boys. And then it became very stressful. And then, I came out. Then a year after coming out, so 2017 this time, that's when I started trying to talk to other boys. And my gosh, was that hard. Because by 2017, I was already like, I don't know, probably on the way to 20s. Started dating on the way to 20s. So that's kind of late. So very naive. I was naive and not ready to have my heart broken so quickly by other people, and that was a very hard time. But I think that the heartbreak really helped me grow and realize that, in the end, just gotta take care of yourself first before taking care of other people, or other people can take care of you, because, what do you say? How do they say it? Make sure that, I forgot how it goes. Make sure that your cup of love is full. before you can pour your cup to other people.
That's really true. Like, you need
That's
to
true.
be able to acknowledge that you're good. You're all set. So you don't really need someone to
Right.
try and add stuff to you to complete you. Because when, like, personally, right, with Jay, I agree with Jay, because when you have a partner, it's going to be like a bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which actually reminds me, because I think we're already drifting towards the topic of self-love. That will be our next topic for the next episode, so better watch out for that. But actually, I just wanted to pick up on what you said about not needing someone to sort of make you whole. Because, I think that is for me, that is the very definition of self-love. Like, having the company of someone else being just a nice to have than to be a necessity, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I just also wanted to go back to what you said earlier about starting in the dating scene late.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I just wanted to know what it was like in terms of I don't know even
The
how
dating pool?
Yeah, the dating pool. The
Because,
dating pool.
the
Okay.
LGBTQ.
The dating pool was
yeah.
hard. Okay, I want to hear like the story after this, because because you're already out there, right? You're already open.
Yeah.
It was totally fine. But then, like, being in the closet, I mean, mostly in the closet when I started dating or looking for people to date, it was kind of like grasping at straws, or like reaching your hand in a fun box and then hoping you get something good. Because if I don't get something good, I just get something straight, which is something you don't want, I don't want straight
I love
boys.
that metaphor. I love that so much.
A lot of it was just that, like, oh, I like this person, and this person's like, oh yeah, this girl's hot. I'm like, okay, I don't like that person anymore. The person likes girls. And then, it was very difficult, honestly, trying to like be discreet and look for someone discreet at the same time, and then hoping that works. And I think that was part of the naivety of it all, because like, oh, I found someone who is discreet like me, so we gotta make sure it works.
Yeah.
So you force it to work, and that doesn't work out ever.
Anything you force to work always doesn't
Okay.
work out. Right?
Sorry. Yes, that is what you meant.
Yeah.
Don't force anything.
Yeah, don't force
Yeah.
anything. But how many failed relationships did it take before you get?
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Paulo coming in hot, man.
Okay. Well, technically none, or officially speaking, based on label, zero gets. I mean, it's really zero. But like, I tried dating a few people. I guess the significant number would be like, I can't even keep track anymore. Basta, it just doesn't reach more than 2 hands.
Okay.
Okay, so at least less than 10.
Okay.
Okay.
Probably 5.
Pretty modest number.
Maybe 6.
Yeah,
It
pretty
went
modest.
past one hand.
So you haven't dated like, from an opposite sex?
No, I have not. I don't intend to ever.
How about you, Lexi? Like, how was the dating pool like? You said you started young. But how was that like? Like,
How
did it
young was
start
young?
when? Yeah, how young was young? If you don't mind.
I don't know if I can say it.
Oh, okay. But
Basta young.
Yeah, young.
Yeah.
How about when you got into serious relationships? Okay, how was the dating pool like when?
I think the problem with me is when I'm in love, I really feel that I'm in love. So dating pool is not a problem really for me back then. All right.
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with that. So I think it's really more difficult for the male part because especially if you know that you haven't really come out or you just came out, it's difficult compared to us, like, with females, whatever route we choose, we know that we can find someone easily, right? That's just what I feel.
I understand because coming again from a male perspective, I feel like dating can be a lot trickier for us. Oh God, I feel like I'm setting myself up for being canceled, but this is just a personal opinion. I feel like it's a lot trickier for us because you have to navigate all that fear of rejection because you're always expected to make the first move and do all these gestures, while girls on the other hand, they are expected to be pursued. And I don't know, but I feel like being pursued is a lot easier than pursuing. I mean, right? Please don't cancel me.
What if the person pursuing you was very uncomfortable?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's that's like some sort of like an anomaly already. But in most cases, generally, I feel like it's a lot trickier to navigate that space from a male's perspective.
Would you like to be pursued, Pao?
I mean, why not? Yeah, definitely. I think that would make it a lot easier. But I think we should also normalize that, especially for girls. Like, it's okay to make the first move. It's okay to say that you have a crush on someone, stuff like that. You were saying, I'm sorry, go ahead.
But how about Pao? Wait, why don't we ask our guests about the time when you got pursued versus the time that you were pursuing?
Yeah.
Like, can you give a comparison on which experience was easier for you?
Well, I wasn't successful for any of the times where I pursued, so I don't really know if it was harder because I was pursuing or it was just harder because it didn't work. So, I don't know. And the time I don't even know if I can say I was being pursued with my current partner because it feels like we were both working hand in hand.
Aww.
And I know, right? Oh, so nice.
That's so sweet. Oh my god.
Okay.
How long have you been together, by the way, Jay?
Oh my god.
Sorry.
How long have you been together?
3 years, like just last weekend. Oh, different.
All right,
Whoa.
you said Friday.
Happy anniversary.
That's why there was Sinulog.
Let's go.
Yes. Yes. Oh wait. Oh no. Oh. Safe for work.
But
Topics.
who
Okay.
who made the first move between the two of you? Like who?
It is debatable to this very day. It's still debatable. I think it's a pride thing also.
Yeah.
Because how did it happen? Essentially, we were just friends for many months before he kind of started giving signals that he was not straight. Okay. And then, so again, I don't really I try not to work around this word. I don't want to care about straight people in romantic ways because that's a waste of energy, right?
Yeah.
Crushing on someone who won't crush you back. Oh, that's so high school.
Oh my god.
So I met him as a straight guy. He was a straight guy. I was already out and open and having fun. And then when he started showing signs like, oh, maybe I'm not straight, I was like, oh, maybe I like you now. So
Does it sound like Heartstopper?
so after that, the first move, I guess you could say technically was the time we were in like a little bar and he put his arms around me and then I was like a little child, like
Butterflies in your stomach.
yes, butterflies in my stomach, butterflies in my back. And then after that, I started pursuing him or, replying and flirting. But then to him, his point of view, he said it's just a friendly thing, when I want to put my arm here around your shoulder, even down your lower back area. Like, yeah, whatever that.
Oh no. But so for Jay's, your experience, it's not something that you can like have a clear comparison because for you it was just more working hand in hand with your current partner.
Yeah.
But how about you, Lexi? Did you ever have the experience of feeling butterflies in your stomach, killing like what you experienced?
Yeah. Because again, I've been in a lot of relationships, so it happens. But like for me, I couldn't recall like a time that I pursued someone. I'm not bragging, but it's most of the time that,
You're the one being
your
pursued.
girl,
Yeah,
your girl
because-
got it.
No, because if you guys would know me, I'm really like a happy-go-lucky person. If you want us to go out, let's go out as a group. I don't mind. I don't even put malice to it. If you invite me, let's go out, let's have lunch. I don't think of it like you're inviting me on a date.
Yeah.
Not unless you tell me straight to my face that, hey, this and that. So I think that's it.
Among the times that can you count with more than two hands the number of times
That's the barometer now. The new
barometer is like more
the
than
new
two hands?
gauge.
Well, serious relationship, maybe I can, but I've also had a lot of like flings.
Ooh.
So
How do you define a fling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it.
Yeah. How do you
Defining
define? Yeah.
no
terms now.
commitment at all. You can be together, but you can also be with another person.
So
You don't have any right to get mad.
Oh, so just really casual.
So is a fling like an open relationship?
Yeah, I would say so. But
So-
sometimes not to be hypocrite, even if you're in like a fling relationship, you feel jealous.
Okay.
I mean, it's a natural
Yeah.
reaction.
But you have to
That's human.
stop yourself because you're not in a relationship. Like you haven't agreed to be just you two.
Right.
Did you ever have a fling that morphed into something serious?
I don't know, but I had a fling like, we've lasted for years. So
But without like label or any
Without
kind of
label,
commitment.
How did that work?
yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
I always thought of flings to be like very short term.
yeah, like maybe like a week
Oh,
or
a week,
two.
a month, probably at most
Like
a
on a
month,
vacation.
well, it
for
didn't
years?
work because I'm not with
But maybe
this
it worked
person.
for
No, like for 10 years. Wait,
No, not 10 years.
Sorry,
10 years.
sorry, 10 years. Well, I don't know why I said 10.
What were you counting, Sam?
Hands.
Well, I don't know. Oh, well, yeah, actually, going back to your question, if I had a fling that turned into a real relationship, yeah, I did. But the problem with that guy is he was married,
Oh, damn.
but they were separated, but not legally
okay.
separated. But then also how it lasted, I don't know how it lasted. Maybe because I'm all like going back to my personality is if this is what you want, then I'll give you what you want. If you do this, then I'll do that. I'm really
Right.
that type of person that I don't wait for you to, to just, hey, can I see you? No. If you're out with your friends, I have to be out with my friends too. Something like
Right.
that. So that's why I was like, I wasn't really too, like, how do I say that? Like, too focused with him. Yeah, because I had to have my life too, right? So,
I'm curious though, since you've had relationships with both females and males, which sex do you think? I feel like I'm always just digging my own grave here, but
Go, pal. You can do this.
which sex do you think is easier to be in a relationship with?
oh, I thought the other,
No, like
That's what I was gonna say. Like,
not the verb. I'm referring to the noun.
the answer is like, wow, you mean the gender?
Yeah, the gender. No, not the deed. I mean the gender. Yeah.
okay, what is your question again?
Which is it easier to be in a relationship with the opposite sex or with the same sex?
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Well,
Let's go.
For me
Oh my
right now, I
God.
feel like same sex is much more better because I've had, I've had relationship with opposite sex, right? The problem that I had back then really was I don't have peace of mind. Like even when you try to say that, oh, I trust him, honestly, that's sometimes BS because you really don't.
Okay.
There's still that, there's still something about, I don't know, but with with same sex, you can, maybe because we can talk really as friends because we know that, the same things happens to us. Like, so yeah, I think much better for me is same sex, really.
Okay. Do you think it has more to do with like the commonalities of, like feminine tendencies versus trying to figure out, the tendencies of the opposite sex? Do you think
that's
it boils
true
down to
too.
that?
Because like during our period, right? We know that sometimes our mood changes. So then I would understand that when my partner is almost on her period, I know that she's a little grumpy.
Yeah.
Compared to like opposite sex, they don't mind. Sometimes they don't even care. You have to tell them. But
That's true.
right? So ladies doesn't so
What happens when your cycles sync and
well, that's a good
both
thing.
of you are going through it?
Because at least both of us are grumpy, so we don't see each other.
Like you go over there, I go over here.
Got
It's
it.
fine.
Do you have any questions, Sam?
Well, what I was curious about though, like, do you have more common interests with the same sex compared to your opposite sex partners, with like hobbies as well?
I don't have opposite sex
yeah.
partners.
Oh, right, sorry. Wait. Okay, let me remix that. Okay, how much of a factor are common interests with your partners? Like, does it matter if you have little common interests? Does that relationship still work out in the long run? Or your previous relationships, did that work out in the long run? Or is it much more important that you have common interests and hobbies?
I think having common interests and hobbies is really important because in the start, it means it's something you can both talk about together and like bond over, for example. And in the long run, it's something that both of you can sort of turn into like something romantic, for example. If you both like traveling, then you can both go on romantic travels. If you both like video games, then you can both play dating sims together.
I thought you were gonna say Pokemon. Play Pokemon together.
Oh, but I want to add something Lexi said. So Lexi said it's easier for same sex, right? As she said, because of the trust you feel, right? I've never tried dating a woman, but I would definitely say I super trust my partner, but actually for the same reason as yours. What's the reason you said again? Because you can talk to the person like a friend, right? And I also really feel that way. Absolutely. I think that my partner is like is really a best friend of mine as well. We bonded as friends before as we were in a relationship. And yeah, he's really good looking too, so not easy on the eyes.
An eye candy.
Can confirm.
Yeah. I actually met him as well.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, you
in
have?
Pasay. But
Right?
very brief though.
So
very
handsome,
brief.
right?
Yeah, he was good looking. Yeah.
What about you, Lexi?
Well, I think I have a different opinion on that one. So I feel that common interest is also a factor, but it doesn't somehow have to be that way. Because like my relationship right now, the partner that I have right now, we really have different, perspective in life. We don't really have much common interest. But the good thing about it is it worked. It's because if I'm doing this, I have like another voice who can tell me that, hey, that's not, something compared to, because again, I'm 38, right? So I'm
Yeah.
thinking of other mature stuff already. So if I make decisions, if my partner has the same thinking as myself, we both will make that decision.
It becomes like an echo chamber.
Yeah. But then my partner right now has a different perspective. So if I make that decision, I have someone who can tell me about like what are the consequences of this, at least I have like another voice that can tell me of it. But I also agree on the part where in common interests such as, traveling, this and that plays an important part too. But again, I think my thinking right now, as I've matured, is different.
I think I get what I get your point there. I feel like different personalities may not be as important as having like different interests, because different personalities, that's something that you can work on. You can work through compromise, but having common interests, especially for long-term relationships, you have to have something that you would enjoy doing together.
Yeah.
And if you don't have any common interests together, you would the relationship will just end up being stale. We will be right back. Just tune in and we will have more fun waiting around. So yeah.
And now we'll be jumping into our special segment.
Yes.
So on Twitter, our Twitter handle, by the way, is at MedSpecializedPH.
Yeah.
So we sent out some questions on Twitter, and here are some responses from our med species. So the first question, what's your weirdest dating experience? And user _Lily said they were chatting someone that they met on Instagram. And weeks later, they met at a family reunion in Luzon. And as a matter of fact, they were related.
Dude, that has got to be super awkward. Like, I can't even imagine.
I cannot.
Oh, no.
Like, how about you?
How about you guys? Do you have any like weird dating experience stories?
There's nothing I could think
There's nothing?
of. I don't know.
I don't think anything can top this. Like, this is
Yeah.
this is pretty.
Yeah, that's a high bar.
Yeah, high bar
I mean-
to
How do you even...
even
I don't think I want to top that, though, to be honest.
actually. Yeah. Anyway, we can just jump right into the second question from again our Twitter at MedSpecializedPH. You can follow us in our Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. The same handle, at MedSpecializedPH. The second question is, how did you move on from your heartbreak? And user at ArchieM13, I'm gonna pretend that I don't know who this is, answered, from personal experience, I focused on myself. I was jobless, so I applied for a job and I focused on my career growth, and here I am. Okay, quite a redemption story.
Yeah.
How about you guys? Do you have any like tips or at least a story that you can tell about how you overcame a heartbreak?
Moving forward from a heartbreak.
Yeah, totally. I wrote songs.
Oh,
Right.
I vented out to friends, ate a lot of chocolate, and I wrote songs because that's just what I do. I'm like, took some notes from Taylor and wrote songs about heartbreaks.
dude, you can do a shameless plug right now if you
Yeah.
want to. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
go ahead.
Which camera do I look at? I can't look at both at the same time.
Any.
You guys should go check out Alice Who on Instagram or on Twitter or just anywhere really. That's the band I'm in. Alice as in the name Alice. Who as in like who is Alice. You know, that's Alice Who PH. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. And
Stream their
Stream
music.
Touch.
oh yeah, we're on Spotify. I forgot we're on Spotify.
They're really good.
Check out Touch by Alice Who on Spotify. And maybe later this year, hopefully we can release another song. It's already in the works. Ooh.
And I find it really great because like Touch is, about about consent and LGBTQ relationship as well. It's really
Okay,
great.
so very on theme.
Yes.
How about you, Lexi?
Yeah, Lexi.
How did like a hard moving on story?
Well, don't force yourself. You will overcome it at some point. So just don't, force it. And instead of trying to move on because of the heartbreak,
Yeah.
instead enjoy, enjoy who you have, like the company that you still have, like your friends or something like that. Again, just don't force yourself.
That's
Pretty-
true. Yeah, like after every tragedy, there will be people with you. And I guess it's
Right.
just something that it shows how strong your community is when you have people
So I
with
guess-
you to help you pick up the pieces of yourself,
So I
right?
guess just focus on who remains. And
Yes.
Yeah. not so much on who went. I don't know who you lost. But actually, right now at this juncture, we can jump right into our next segment.
Yes.
The famed, still unnamed portion of our
How
pod.
is it? Is the ping pong ball question in the fish bowl.
Oh my God, you nailed that.
I got
You
it.
nailed that.
Are you proud
Okay.
of me?
I am actually, because you nailed it on the first try.
Okay.
Now,
Who wants to go fast?
so just to explain, we have a
Bowl.
fish bowl of ping pong balls with numbers in them, and each number has a corresponding question. Now, both our guests will be dipping their hands in the fish bowl, and we'll pick a
Number.
ping pong ball from the fish bowl.
Yes.
Who wants to go first? Can we do volunteers?
Yeah, volunteers.
Okay,
Yeah.
I volunteer Lexi.
There you go.
Okay. Number 9.
9 or is
The-
it 6?
Oh, what do you want it to be? 9
Yeah.
or 6?
Everybody has their own version of the truth now, so make your own.
9.
9. Okay.
Do you want to read that, Sam?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So, your question. Who would be the most awkward person to accidentally say, I love you to? Like, who would be the most awkward person you would accidentally say, I love you to?
Like me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Boss Aljon?
Oh no!
Okay, can you provide context for the listeners who might not understand? Yeah, go ahead.
Do I explain who Boss Aljon
I mean, I don't know. Do you? Do you
Do
want
you
to?
want to?
I want
No, because
No.
when, working in the office, we see
Yeah,
him,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
He's everywhere. So if by any chance I bump into him and I'd say, I love you. Oh my God.
Yeah, that'd be awkward. How about you, Jay? Do you want to jump in on that?
Yeah.
What, saying I love you to Aljon?
No, is there a specific person that would be awkward to
Say I love you too.
Yeah, probably like my ex or something like that.
Oh.
That's dramatic and we don't need that drama.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
And that's only second to Boss Aljon. That's still number one.
got it.
How about you, Pao?
I actually don't have anyone in mind.
Miss Dao?
Are you sticking to people in the office?
Are we dropping names now?
Oh, shoot.
No, seriously, I don't have anyone in mind because, I would agree with Jay, about accidentally saying I love you to an ex, but I don't have an ex.
Well,
So
congrats.
You know?
But would it be accidentally said if it's an ex?
I'm a think thump. Have a think thump
Right.
on that.
Not unless if you're too drunk and you
Yeah.
saw your ex somewhere and then you said, but it's still not accident, I think.
Okay, Jay,
Jay?
do you want to defend your answer?
One, let's say for example, let's say this is
That's
the
actually a fair
scenario.
point.
Sam's my boo right here, and
Ay.
you just so happen to, I'm like I love you, but then it just so happens nga, Lexi just walks right in front. Who is the ex?
Oh.
And no, not the ex. I meant behind you.
Wow.
Got it. So we're making up made
What
up.
I was thinking about it. I was thinking of
Okay.
accidentally sending a text, which is I've totally accidentally said I love you to my parents via text.
Oh, that's not awkward.
I mean, not just I love you, like I love you, boo boo. That kind of
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
But accidentally sending it to
extra sprinkles
a
on top.
messenger somehow to your ex who you didn't block, for example. That kind of accident. Wrong sender.
How about you? You're not gonna escape this.
I mean, me trying to think of an answer, but I don't. Oh my God, I don't think I have, because I am very open with my affection.
Yeah.
So, I'm not really sure. Maybe a superior,
Yeah.
like my manager or something.
Yeah, that'd be awkward.
That would be awkward. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Now that you said it, yeah, probably Janine.
Yeah.
They accidentally say I
when you
love you
say
to
that,
Janine. Yeah, that would be,
in an outside thank you for the work that you do context.
even without context at all. If you say I love you to your superior, that would be super awkward. You'd probably be jobless the day after.
Okay, I'll never do that again. But
Yeah.
I totally do that a lot though.
Oh, you do that?
I mean, he does that when
Oh,
he's
yeah.
passing by.
Because I think that's pretty natural for you because you're pretty affectionate.
I'm pretty, thank you.
You're though.
You are pretty.
You're pretty. But anyway, we can jump right into the second.
Oh yeah, so it's Jay's turn
Question,
to
yeah.
take
Okay.
a question, ping pong ball question
From
from the
the
fish
fishbowl.
bowl.
this is called the ball bowl question, right?
The ping
Yo,
pong ball.
Jay, ping pong ball.
All right, is this a 2 or
Yes.
is it a
Yes.
5? Stretching it right there.
Stretching. Is
It's a
Okay,
2.
I think it's a 2.
Okay.
You wanna go ahead,
Yeah.
Pao?
Let me read this. So, how do you want to celebrate Valentine's Day? Yeah.
I'm on a budget right now. Okay, so I'm just kidding. I want to spend it traveling this year.
Any place in
Any- yeah.
particular?
Yeah. If I can end up out of the country somewhere that doesn't require a visa, so you can, because I'm on a budget. So if we can get somewhere, then cool. But if it's within the Philippines, then like Siargao,
Ooh.
or Coron, or Batanes, or just somewhere that's not so near the city, you know?
Got it. I'm curious though, how do you travel as a couple? Like in terms of like planning and the financial side of it, like how do you? What is the dynamics in from?
I don't really know how to answer that question. The dynamic is like we pitch in to make plans, and then we both pitch in to do budgeting. Like, how can we both budget for this or budget for that? And then we remind each other to get important things done. You know, things like, hey, is your passport still not gonna expire yet?
Yeah.
Or don't forget to prepare these things, those things. And sometimes kind of just like split the load of things to carry. Because, you know, I'm blessed that my partner is pretty much the same body size as me. So we can just like share clothes. That's a
Oh,
nice
okay.
convenience right there.
Yeah,
And so it's kind of like that, I guess. Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. And sharing clothes is kind of like so adorable.
Okay. How about you, Lexi? How do you want to celebrate Valentine's Day?
Valentine's Day.
Well, just dine out, maybe not just with my partner, but with my family.
Do you have a favorite restaurant that you guys always go back to? Are you the type to try to explore
Yeah.
a new
Yeah.
restaurant each
New
time?
cuisines.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Is
Yeah.
that how you're gonna spend Valentine's? Like, try to experience a different restaurant you haven't been to
Most
before.
probably.
Ooh. Do you mind like sharing some restaurant recos
Yeah.
maybe for
You go to El Curso. There's this.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
And
You know
the
it's a
fountain
coffee.
thing
It's a coffee shop, but it's also you can also eat there. It's
The one with like light bulbs on its aesthetic. I forgot the name. But yeah, the one that's like,
I just went there last week, I think. I forgot.
Okay, I'm gonna hit you up if you don't mind for
Yeah.
that.
there is a coffee shop.
We'll follow up on
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Please. Definitely.
Really sweet kiddie shakes and good coffee. And sometimes there's live music outside, that one.
Oh, that
Yeah,
would
I
be
think
so
so.
nice.
That's really nice.
Do you know
I just
it?
forgot the name.
Okay, we'll follow up with either one of you.
Illumination?
I can check my phone.
We'll
Okay.
Illuminati.
look you up.
While you're doing that,
Yeah.
Sam,
How about you, Sam? What are you doing for Valentine's?
Okay,
Back
I'll
to
go
you.
first. So, I don't really have any current plans. So, guys, gals, non-binary pals, hit me up.
Oh, self
is that like
Self-plug.
a call out?
But I like it's gonna be on a weekday, right? It's on.
I'm not sure.
I don't
Let
want
me
to say.
just check
When
the
is Feb
calendar.
14?
Feb 14.
It's either a Tuesday or a Wednesday, so it's gonna be a weekday. So
Weekday,
probably I'm just gonna get a really nice dinner for myself, and I really like spending time in my room. So I'm gonna spend time in my room watching something like a mukbang. Stephanie Sue,
Yeah,
I love her.
definitely.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Valentine's Day doesn't just have to be like a romantic
Yes,
date. Treating yourself or dating yourself.
exactly.
Yeah.
Self date.
Self-date, right?
It's really good that you get to be comfortable in your own company.
Perfect. Yeah.
And
By the
how
way,
about
it's luminous?
Luminous?
That's it.
I'm gonna note that down because
Luminous.
it's a nice spot. Because El Corso has a nice like fountain show.
Yeah.
I really like it in Corso.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's breezy. It's very
Yeah.
breezy there.
Right.
You can walk
And
around.
so much food options.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. You can take like a bunch of people, like your whole fam, and the kids love it there.
And the dogs. You can bring dogs
Oh
there.
really? Oh my god! I didn't see dogs when we went. But wait,
You can even do picnic over there.
Oh, there's a.
There's a
I
spot.
went at night, so.
By the beach?
Yeah.
I don't think that classifies as a beach. I think
I
it's
mean,
just
like-
water at
It's not
that
a beach.
point.
No, there's like some sort of a shoreline, like a little bit,
Just
a portion.
Next time I'll try to go during the day, because.
Yeah, because
Yeah, let's
at
go
night
there
it's pretty
soon.
pitch black. Yeah.
So, but wait, how about you, pal? How are you spending?
yeah. How about you and your never had an ex?
Yeah, I never had an ex.
Dude, I didn't mean it like that.
That's a good
I'm just
thing,
trying to
though.
provide context, but I actually don't have any plans as well.
¿Qué pasó?
How many years have
Yeah.
you been together and you don't have a plan?
Yeah, it's actually I don't have any plans. Right now she's actually far from Cebu, so yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's probably gonna do the self-date kind of thing. Being comfortable with your own company.
Let's just go to Il Corso together, all of us.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
down.
Yeah, I'm down with that too.
Right? Anyway, as much as I would love to continue this conversation, unfortunately we are pressed on time, and I really had fun.
I did too.
I actually learned a lot, like especially again, as I said earlier, coming from a straight male perspective, I have a lot to learn with regards to the LGBTQ community, and I am a work in progress. I try my best to sort of understand and learn things about this community every day, and I feel like this conversation, this exchange really helped a lot, sort of in terms of opening up my mind to a lot of other aspects of the LGBTQ community that I didn't know before. How about you, Sam?
I found it really refreshing because these are two different perspectives that we have,
Right.
two different experiences, and I found it really amazing that how we can have similar. Well, how I forgot. My
Like
brain is not
situations?
braining right now. Yeah, like
Similar situations,
but
different
completely
experiences.
different experience. Oh my
Got
god,
it.
it's like you take the words right out of my mouth, and
I feel you.
I find it really comforting to know that it's not everyone who's struggling while they're growing up and
Right.
dealing with themselves, you know? And it's really great that there are people who experience the same things
Yeah.
that you do.
Makes you feel like you're not alone.
Yeah.
And just, I guess, to close, I would just like to really pick up on what Jay said earlier, right at the beginning, I guess at the onset of the pod, about hoping that someday society will not put too much emphasis on your gender identity and your sexual orientation, that there's never going to be a need to come out and open up to the world, because the society will just accept you for who you are.
Yes.
And not feeling the need to, again, explain yourself and introduce who you truly are inside. I really hope that we get to that point. And I
Yes.
feel like we are kind
slowly
of
getting there. That is the
crawling to-
world
yeah.
we dream of.
Perfect. All right, so
Thank you for staying until the end of this first Valentine's Day special episode. We hope you learned a thing or two from our random conversations.
definitely. And also, thank you so much to Jay and Lexi for
Yes.
sharing the podcast with us, for sharing your experiences and insights. Definitely helpful and insightful. And join us again next time as we share and talk about the different experiences and stories of med species. This has been Pao,
And this has been Sam.
signing off.
And cut.